One thing they clipped out of the David Schultz episode was that they showed the little clip of the Hogan Belzer thing. Have I ever told you this story? I told it to them. They didn't use it. So I'm going to tell it now. But have I told you?
I'm not sure because I don't know exactly what you're going to say.
Well, how long has it been since I told you? The ending may have changed. Anyway, when Hogan and Mr. T were on the Richard Belzer show and he put Belzer in the front face lock.
Hot Properties.
Yes, Hot Properties. And I saw that while I was living in Dallas and I taped the show and watched it back when I got back from a fucking match. But anyway, he only had the front face lock on for just a couple of seconds. And he didn't realize that he was going to put Richard Belzer out. He thought he was only going to cause him a little discomfort. But you know why Richard Belzer, and if I'm slandering a public person, is Richard Belzer still alive?
Oh yeah, he's still alive.
Does he do anything important? Does he have enough money to hire a lawyer?
He's got lots of money. He has lots of NBC money.
Okay.
Do you know what the name of his house is in France?
I didn't know he had a house in France.
Well, he bought it after the lawsuit. He named it Shea Hogan.
Oh, for God's sake. All right. Well, then in that case, maybe that's why they didn't use this story on the dark side. But let's just say that a TV host asks a well-known wrestler to put a hold on him, and the well-known wrestler wants to give him a little respect for the wrestling business. He puts a front face lock on and he cinches up a little bit. But he doesn't cinch up long enough that he should have gone out, right? This fictitious TV host drops like a fucking stone and is unconscious. It's a scientific fact. I don't know if everybody's aware of this or not, but the harder that your blood is pumping, the quicker you go out in a rear naked choke or a sleeper or whatever that's designed to put you out. The harder, the more blowed up you are and the harder your blood is pumping, the quicker you're going to go out. Now, if there was artificial substances in someone's bloodstream, it was the 80s. In this fictitious scenario that I'm talking about. If somebody was coked to the gills in a situation like that and they just got cinched up on a little bit in a front face lock, they'd go out quicker than that. And that's what I think, because you see the look on this fictitious wrestler's face when he's like, oh, fuck, he's already gone. And when he let him go and you see this fictitious television host from the 80s who may or may not have been coked to the gills just fucking drop. I guarantee you his heart rate was high, that fictitious television personality. For whatever reason, he had a very high heart rate when that hold was cinched up on.
Didn't that fictitious wrestler from Venice Beach, California, put that same maneuver on Vern Gagne backstage at the AWA before he left? Did you ever hear that story?
Well, are you asking, was the story ever told and did I hear it or did it actually happen?
Any variation of that. First of all, I'll just say the name, Hulk Hogan. If there's anything you hear from Hulk Hogan's lips, you have to assume right away that it's a lie. I hate to say that.
Well, there was some story in his book or somewhere that he told or related about having to take care of Vern when Vern got upset at him somehow. Is this what you're referring to?
I had never heard it from his book. I had heard it from other sources.
Or somehow I heard, yeah. Well, it's like Paul Lee's story when he cussed out Vern Gagne. He called me and told me, oh, and I told him, you old man, and this and that and the other thing, and this is just all the ways that his promotion should be run, and it's not run. He just cussed and ranted and raved at Vern Gagne. I'm like, what the fuck? And of course, if everybody else that I could find to confirm that said, we've never seen anything like that happen in public. And then I saw it in person myself when he had cut the promo on Flair. 20 seconds after Flair had cut a promo on him and left the room and closed the door behind him. And then Paul started. So I'm one of those promos. I think it's the same thing. I think Hogan, I don't care how old Vern Gagne was. I don't think that he got a front face lock put on him by Hulk Hogan and it didn't make front page news in the wrestling world at the time. And he came out on the better end of it. An former NCAA champion against Hulk Hogan.
David Schultz told me a story on 605. I asked him about the story that, he was one of the first guys rated. When Vince went after the AWA, he got Hogan. Hogan insisted on some people being brought over. Gene Okerlund, David Schultz. A lot of people forget Jerry Blackwell, who backed out of the taping. he decided not to do it at the last minute. But Jerry Blackwell was one of the first guys rated from the AWA. And Schultz actually showed up at TV.
And as a matter of fact, Blackwell never had a run after that, did he?
He stayed in the AWA.
Yeah.
He stayed in the AWA. I think his health may have been an issue also from that point forward. But David Schultz showed up at TV after all this went down. And he went at it with Vern and had like a screaming match with him. And David admitted to me on 605, he goes, you know what? I'm glad he didn't make a move on me because he, even at his old age, he would have kicked my ass. And David admitted it, you know? So.
Well, yeah, but see, now I believe that Schultz fucking went and gave a promo to Vern. I can believe that entirely. But nah. And yeah, that's what people don't understand when Hogan he's once again, he's like the other guy. We'll use that phrase, the other guy. He just talks out of his ass when he's on a program telling stories. And so, you know, whether it was I used to actually wrestle twice a day because I'd fly around the world from Japan to the fucking New York and I'd wrestle twice in the same day. So I wrestled 700 times a year or whatever. It's fucking lunacy. But some people will believe it because, why would he lie? Why wouldn't he lie if you've studied anything about his fucking life and career?
Why did they include that clip of him on that episode? It made no sense.
Which clip?
The one at the end where he was given the Mr. T story. His version of the Mr. T story.
Oh, I don't know. I do not know.
Why? I don't know. You have guys with no credibility. You shouldn't be including their words on in your piece. I don't know.